Good afternoon and welcome to the South Point Resort Arena and Casino here on the south side of Las Vegas, along with Pat Coleman, Justin Sweeney on hand as we prepare for our final women's matchup of this 4-day-long D3Hoops.com D3 tournament. 2 men's games still on the way after this, but the final women's matchup of this illustrious tournament pits us with the St. Vincent Bearcats, now 5-4, taking on the Verne Leopards, who bring an overall record of 2-6 into this game. Verne looking for a big response after yesterday. Meanwhile, the St. Vincent Bearcats victors over Carthage 67-60, coming back late in that one to force overtime before holding on with an offensive firebranding in that overtime session in which they outscored Carthage 12-5 to emerge with a 67-60 victory. Hannah Carroll, the leading scorer in that one, a career high 18 points to go with 10 rebounds. Presumably we will see Hannah Carroll get the start at guard today for St. Vincent. They will take on a budding Verne team who went 10-14 last year, into the year on a 4-game losing streak, still in search of traction this year. They enter this game 2-6. They're led by Emily Myers, the forward, number 35, who's averaging 13.5 points per game with 7 boards to enter this contest. In the backcourt, the attack will consist of Shannon Irwin along with Brianna Bishop. Shannon Irwin, the second leading scorer on this team at 11.5 points per game, also carrying an average of 2 steals and 4 assists. She facilitates, creates everything for her teammates. Verne 0-3 on the road, 0-1 in neutral court site situation. Should be a good showdown today for Verne out of the Skyac, and St. Vincent, the second-place team out of the President's Athletic Conference. A sterling 22-5 campaign in the 2014-2015 season. St. Vincent finishing in second place behind the eventual national champion Thomas More Saints, who did go undefeated. St. Vincent on a tear midway through their season in 2015. At one point in that stretch, they reeled off 13 of 14 victories. The only loss in that 14-game stretch came to the Thomas More Saints, the automatons right now of D3 women's basketball. So we will introduce the starting lineups for both of these teams and look back a little bit at what these teams have done of late. Verne already 1 game in the books in this tournament, suffering a 69-50 defeat against DeSales yesterday in early morning action here in Las Vegas. Leading scorer in that game for Verne was Shannon Irwin with those 16 points. Myers was the leading scorer, but DeSales did a good job of keying in on the starting center and holding her to 6 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. Just 5 field goal attempts on the day for Emily Myers, who hit foul trouble early in that game, picking up 2, had to spend a lot of time on the bench, and eventually fouled out. Myers only logging 16 minutes in that game for Verne. She'll seek a bounce-back effort today. Noel Cobb, I should say, had to pick up a lot of the slack for Verne yesterday with 9 points. The fellow forward in the post alongside Myers shot 3 for 9 in 31 minutes from the field, had 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. Verne, a lot of speedy little guards for this team. We'll see Erica Pacalino on the guard alongside Faye Osborne. Pacalino went 1 for 6 from the field yesterday with 2 points. She'll seek a better shooting percentage today. Faye Osborne 3 for 4 as a team. Verne just 33% from the field, shooting 17 for 52. Could not take care of the basketball yesterday against the DeSales Bulldogs as they turned it over 18 times. DeSales won the turnover battle by 6. Verne, this is a team that likes to try to swipe at the ball and force the defensive pressure, but they'll need a better offensive effort today against the St. Vincent Bearcats. Starting off a little slowly for their own standards, 5-4 coming to this one after going 22-5 in 2015, including a 15-3 campaign within the President's Athletics Conference. They only had 1 loss to all other teams, not including Thomas More within their own conference. This year they have started with a 1-2 record in President's Athletic play. On the Verne side, in the starting lineup, we'll see in the backcourt Erica Pacalino alongside Faye Osborne. They will get the start. Up front, we'll see the center Emily Myers averaging 14 points per game along with 7 rebounds per contest. At the wings, we'll see Noel Cobb along with Shannon Irwin around out the lineup. It'll be Myers going to tip with St. Vincent's Babette San Martin. Also on St. Vincent's team, we'll see Jasmine Weems alongside Susie Ellis. She's the leading scorer on the Bearcat side. Mara Benvenuti also will be in the starting lineup here for St. Vincent. Long jumpers on the way in. Hannah Carroll rounds out the lineup. St. Vincent wearing the all black with the green numbers, slight gold trim. Laverne decked out in white with the black numbering and orange trim. Trying to get a bearing on these St. Vincent numbers that might incur the wrath of one onlooker in Ira Thor, perhaps, but please readjust your glasses and on we will go. On the spin is Benvenuti, looking for open space. No score yet, nearly a minute into the ball game, and a traveling violation against St. Vincent. Pat Coleman alongside Justin Sweeney preparing for Game 2 of this 4-game slate today. Final day of the D3Hoops.com Classic. 15 teams all journeying out to Las Vegas this weekend to find out more about themselves and develop some continuity as most of these teams prepare for the advent of their respective conference schedules. Inside goes Laverne, and it's stripped away. St. Vincent taken away before it's Hannah Carroll who endures the brunt of that collision. So St. Vincent will work with the ball up the floor. Bit of a muckety first minute of this game. Pakaliwan stepping up high beyond midcourt to assume the challenge against Jasmine Weems. Got control of the basketball. It was jarred away. Ball was free. Recovered by Weems as we move it over to Hannah Carroll. Carroll moving down low to Benvenuti. Now the kick outside and another traveling violation. St. Vincent throwing it away in succession time and time again.
And once again, the great staff here at the South Point Arena coming out quickly to repair the table. We've had a lot of table incursions here just today in a game at 1.05 games.
Fortunately, everyone stayed safe up to this point. Laverne trying to move the ball indoors, oriented upon the perimeter. Irwin forks up the runner mid-range. No good. She sticks with the play. Missed on the follow. Ball batted around, and eventually it's wrested away by Cobb. Here's Cobb up the left sideline for St. Vincent.
Laverne had real struggles against DeSales' height. They're going to should have a slightly better chance on the interior today against St. Vincent, but how much that translates into, I'm not sure.
Both these teams, at least their starting lineups, relatively small lineups. The tallest player in the starting lineup for St. Vincent is, I believe, Babette San Martin. If not, we'll see her a little bit later, factoring in heavily into this rotation as St. Vincent 3 possessions and have come away with nothing. The first 2 were traveling violations, and that time they lose the ball out of bounds. St. Vincent suffering early from the turnover bug. Irwin shields the ball out yonder. Quick movement around. Baseline jumper on the way from Myers, who again was held in check, was saddled with foul trouble for much of the night, eventually fouled out after just 16 minutes of gameplay. A setup outside. Weems steps into a long 2 and knocks it down. First points of the game go to the St. Vincent Bearcats.
Yeah, if you're Laverne, you really need to get Myers involved early. DeSales knew full well that Myers was the best player on Laverne's team, and they did a really good job focusing on her and, as you said, shutting her down. Here, if St. Vincent doesn't have the same focus and doesn't have the same horses, Myers could do much better.
Myers trying to break free, forces up the jumper, not going to fall. Supreme position established down low by Benvenuti, and the quick clearance left side to Weems. Weems now met by Pakalinawan. Collision away from the ball down low as Babette San Martin went flying. This one's going to go against San Martin of St. Vincent as Laverne will keep it. 7:05 to go in this first quarter. Outlet outside. Carroll with it. Now sends it over to the direction of Babette San Martin. Misses the jumper from the top of the elbow. Pakalinawan almost drug her foot but delivered away in time to Irwin. Back up top. That's stolen away by Weems. 2-on-1 materializing for St. Vincent. Weems takes it all the way. Sought the contact and gained it against Pakalinawan. That should send Jasmine Weems to the line at the 6:46 mark of a quickly moving first quarter.
Yeah, Justin, Laverne is going to have to adjust really quickly to the aggressiveness and the quickness of the St. Vincent team, especially on defense. They're very active, stepping into those passing lanes, and Laverne needs to take care of the basketball better in order to just get the ball and run their offense.
St. Vincent early 3-0 lead in a low-scoring game so far. St. Vincent is led by head coach James Petruska in his 6th season at the helm, 102-37 second coach in program history. He had to take over amid some very sorrowful circumstances back in 2010 when the previous and only head coach up to that time, Kristen Zawacki, unexpectedly passed away after a magnificent 27 seasons of leading this team. But James Petruska, amidst very tough circumstances, was able to take over the program rather seamlessly, and he has built a A program that's really never looked back season after season for St. Vincent, topped off by last year's sweltering 22-5 finish.
Yeah, Jimmy was basically Zawaki's right-hand man for several years. So the transition in that sense, an X's and O's and running the program type scenario was not that difficult. But obviously a huge emotional toll for first of all, Zawaki to be battling illness as long as she was, and then for her to pass away and for the change to take place. That's tough to deal with. Foul
down low. Laverne will have it back. But you talk about what Jimmy Petruska has done ever since that 2009-2010 season, going 23-5, 24-5, 22-7, winning seasons and decisive winning seasons. Not even where it's just 2-3 games, maybe over 500, but there are seasons where he just gets 20-win seasons one after another. Slow start this season, perhaps a tad bit surprising, but he's working with a relatively young team that's looking for traction. Already one win under their belt yesterday against Carthage. Hard-fought win in overtime, and they're looking for another positive victory today against Laverne as the ball batted around after the miss down low. Carroll trying to come away with it, but it will be a jump ball possession arrow towards the Laverne direction.
One thing you can say really is I think the St. Vincent women's basketball program transitioned into Division III so much better than the men's basketball program did. The men's program was one that was successful in a significant way in the NAIA, and I think they thought the transition would be easy and did not really change their practices very much. In terms of, who you recruit and that sort of thing. You find out when you don't have 7 or 11 scholarships to give, hey, it's a little more difficult to recruit kids, and they struggle.
4.5 minutes nearly into this ball game, and just like that, Myers gets Laverne finally on the board. St. Vincent leading Laverne in an offensive struggle 4-2. It was a tough shooting day yesterday for Laverne, only mustering together 33% shooting from the field. Meanwhile, St. Vincent against Carthage, they got the win, but it was not necessarily pretty as they just shot 32% from the field for the entire game as St. Vincent scores going down the other way. Irwin, she'll try to respond with the high-arcing two-point bucket, and she gets it to go.
Yeah, but the thing that is a benefit or a bright spot right there for St. Vincent, Jasmine Weems left open on the perimeter, shot it, hit it from about 22 is a pretty-looking shot.
Ellis setting up the long shot outside from Benvenuti, not going to fall. Weems bats it outside. St. Vincent will do it again. Benvenuti trying to shovel it off to one of the ball handlers, and now she'll keep it herself. Now she finds Weems on the right side as the cut begins, finds her on the nice curl. Quick little give and go play, but it won't go down. Great design play. They did it efficiently, got it all but the score.
Yeah, great design, executed almost perfectly too, just didn't get the rattle to roll.
Myers establishes deep position the other way, and she cashes in relatively easily for Laverne. They're neck and neck with St. Vincent at the 4:15 mark of this first quarter. It's the Bearcats with the ball in the 1-point lead.
Yeah, Myers right there. That was everything she could not do against McCullion. The last game out against when they were playing DeSales.
And a quick little housekeeping note, this is not Benvenuti but Noelle Cobb. Or Benvenuti, yes, on the St. Vincent side, it's Noelle Cobb who's wearing a different uniform number. Brianna Bishop will wear 20 today for Laverne, and we've not seen her in the game yet. In transition, the long jumper right through the net from Katie Ryan, who has just appeared on the floor for the first time in this game for the Bearcats.
Transition game certainly working smoothly here for St. Vincent over the last few possessions. Took a little while for the scoring to get started, right? But now teams are finding a little more flow.
Emily Myers with a difficult shot, ranging away and just tossed it with the right hand, almost line driving it across the baseline, up and in, and Myers is getting in rhythm early in this one. St. Vincent leading Laverne 11-8, 3:12 to go. Weems breaks away from the pack, and she gives St. Vincent a 5-point lead.
I like Weems' play here in the early going. Adept at scoring on the backdoor cut. Left open, left with a little bit of space on the perimeter, buries a three, and here Laverne's going to take a timeout. Laverne had 3 players at the bench, or 2 players at the bench for a long time. St. Vincent had been waiting to get subs in as well. This is a long, uninterrupted flow of the game.
Normally it probably would have seen a changeover by now, but with the constant flow of the game and no timeouts being utilized in this efficiently moving along tournament, it never came, so they had to call for the forced timeout there.
And one of the things that just struck me was, remember, I think it might have been the 2013 men's Final Four. It was this big, long stretch of play. They blew through a couple of media timeouts because the game never went to break or anything. And people were saying, "Oh, how can you expect them to play 5 minutes without a break?" It's like, because that's what actual basketball is like.
Well-conditioned human beings.
Right. I'm pretty sure they could probably manage to play more than 4 minutes at a stretch here. You know, it wasn't quite 7:01 between dead balls, but it was a long stretch of uninterrupted flow.
And there are quarters now, so we know there will be at least a break after 10 minutes of play.
That's right.
These teams tried to go the distance, and now the substitutions occur. So a couple of new bodies on the floor for Laverne. Carly Cato is on the floor up top. She has the ball in her hands right now, sends it across to Bailey Kurahashi. Kurahashi into the corner with Bishop.
And not a great look with the shot clock running down, but they did get the rim in the offensive rebound.
Kurahashi. Now across, Laverne limited outside in a traveling violation. Eventually called against the Leopards, nothing fully materializing on that offensive set for Laverne. That's now their 5th turnover of this game. St. Vincent taking relatively better care of the basketball with just 2 throwaways.
Well, and the reason why Laverne struggled is St. Vincent came out with a different looking defense, right? You saw them more matching up, double teaming out on the perimeter, a little bit more of a zone.
Benvenuti trying to stave away from the grasp of Bishop, or Cato, and she loses it out of bounds. So despite a little bit of sloppiness by both teams, there has been enough scoring in this first quarter. St. Vincent leading Laverne 13-8 as we close in on the 2-minute mark of this first quarter. Jumper up and misses off to the left side by by Diana Pena. Across now, open space, no one came to meet Morgan on the left side of 3. It falls short, however, Laverne trying to track down the rebound, and Cato will be fouled.
You know, since we had that break in the action in the substitutes, right? Not quite wholesale substitutions, but let's say retail substitutions for both sides. We've lost that offensive flow. Defense has become a little bit more of a priority and more successful.
Bishop setting up the offense on this play, steps into trouble, pivots away from it, sends it outside. Myers the hot hand, and it continues to be that way. Emily Myers now already outscoring her previous day production. She has 8 in this one, and she has been unstoppable.
Yeah, that's the Emily Myers that I think SCIAC teams will expect to see on a regular basis.
St. Vincent, Lucy Bujos misses from the left side baseline, and we go the other way, and Laverne starting to work themselves into a rhythm now, down 3 with 1:19 to go in the first.
Yeah, Benvenuti just kind of reaches over, has her elbow right on the defender's shoulder to try to grab that rebound. That's not going to be tolerated.
Bailey Kurahashi, the 5-foot freshman out of Torrance, California, advances the ball up the floor. Myers, 5 for 7 from the field, and James Petruska has seen enough. He needs to find a way to stop Laverne's incredible center, Emily Myers, the 6-foot senior at a Heritage High School up in Vancouver, Washington, right across the Columbia River from the Portland Metro.
Yeah, night and day from game 1 to game 2 for Emily Myers, right? Just struggled physically, was really locked down by DeSales in their first game here. And here, you know, St. Vincent doesn't have, I don't know, it's not necessarily height, but they don't have the size on the inside in order to be able to effectively deal with her. And, you know, also come back after a break, get a couple days off, get a little confidence with a couple of early baskets. It can really completely change your outlook as a player.
I'm not sure how much fatigue's going to be a factor, just two games played for all of these teams. St. Vincent had to work a little longer, though, yesterday, 45 minutes instead of 40, forging into overtime against Carthage, and that was a tough-fought overtime game, first to force it into overtime and then eventually pull it out, outscoring Carthage 12-5 in a game where there was a lot of physicality exerted by both teams. Weems ahead, open space, Benvenuti the pull-up, rims off the backboard, rolls around the rim, not going to fall. Here comes Laverne with a chance to take the lead, trailing by 13-12 inside the 1-minute mark. Kurahashi setting it up, Myers 5 for 7, not her spot, a little muddled far out. The step back on the way, up off by Cato, offensive rebound, there's Myers, she is all over the place, factoring into this one. Kurahashi, she'll leave it outside, Bishop, right corner 3, no good, and the rebound tracked down by St. Vincent. Oh, supreme outlet from Morgan Weems. She's ahead of the pack. And a great transition opportunity converted by the Bearcats. Up the floor, Kurahashi, Laverne, last shot of the quarter if they want it. This is turning into a feisty, competitive ball game, and Myers into double figures. She's pacing for 40, who knows?
Well, it's been a good entertaining here. first 10 minutes of the game here in the last
Weems, open three, no good. 4 seconds left. Time for Laverne. Into the front court comes Cato, away in time. Off the glass, roll around. Wouldn't stay down, but what a look for Laverne, and one of the best played first quarters we've seen in any of the women's games, and these 4 days, neck and neck are St. Vincent and Laverne. So far, though, the Bearcats have led this one wire to wire. After 10 minutes of gameplay, it is St. Vincent leading Laverne 15-14. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching the D3Hoops.com Classic on D3Hoops.com. And we welcome you back to Las Vegas, Nevada, along with Pat Coleman, Justin Sweeney on hand. Second quarter about to commence here between St. Vincent and Laverne. Bearcats leading wire to wire in that first quarter, holding on to just a 1-point lead, 15-14. Laverne will try to take their first lead of the afternoon here. Bishop outside. Reserves remain on the floor alongside the starter, Emily Myers, for Laverne, and a new substitution to take into account Diana Pena back on the floor as well. That play out of sorts offensively for Laverne, and will go the other way. Next game coming up after this one, we'll shift over to men's action for the final 2 games of this 4-game quadruple header as Whitworth faces off against Mary Hardin Baylor out of the ASC at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern. Quick pinpoint moving around. Carroll's 3 is up, misses it all, falls short. Jasmine Weems in the right spot to haul in the offensive board, and the Bearcats will do it again, still with a 1-point lead.
Weems' third rebound of the afternoon, pretty good for the shortest player on the floor. Well, shortest player on St. Vincent, I should say.
Benvenuti on the curl, no good. Up with the rebound is Emily Myers, clears quickly, left side, Shannon Irwin. Irwin quiet to start today, hasn't really needed too much production as Emily Myers has got going and led the way. Those are the 2 leading scorers on this team. Irwin had a game-high 16 for Laverne. Myers on the cut, pivots, spins, falls short on the jumper. Just her 3rd miss of the night, but she shot aplenty. Offensive rebound for Laverne. Kurahashi on the drive. Right side, Cato. Irwin pondering, will enter to Myers, that's her spot. Head fakes, goes to work, tries to dump off the pass down low, spacing out of sorts there, and Laverne loses it out of bounds.
Yeah, at first I wasn't even sure, Justin, if she was intentionally trying to pass it further down low, right, from the medium post, as it were, to the low post, or if it just got knocked out of her hands.
Laverne in the midst of a 4-game losing streak. They're 2-6 entering this one. A great opportunity to get off the schneid today. They played St. Vincent razor thin up to this point. Great passing all around, just zigzagging left and right. Weems keeping Laverne busy. She has it on the left side, quickly whips it left side. Carroll, more arc on her shot this time, still misses. St. Vincent, they had it for a moment, but we forged the other way. Down low was Bishop. She was trying to swing it back outdoors, but lost it, had it stripped. Laverne will get it back, however.
I really like, Justin, how both of these teams move the ball around and then how they move without the basketball as well. It's really well set up.
St. Vincent, it's as if they've carved out a map from the get-go and the inbound. Everybody in the right spot, and they zip it down with tremendous efficiency. Kurahashi, down low Irwin, make it Bishop. Bishop, the journey from left to right around the interior. Outside, Kurahashi 3. That would have given Laverne their first lead of the night. Instead, the rebound secured by Weems. She'll advance the ball into the front court herself.
Good look for Kurahashi, though. Didn't fall, but I think that was a good shot to take.
Carroll unshy to jack a bunch of threes. This time she'll send it off as the runner stopped by Ellis before she could launch. That one's ripped out of bounds. Was that a foul on that play? Yes, it will be against Carly Cato, I believe. First team foul of this quarter for either team. That was indeed in the act of shooting, they determined. Ellis trying to force up the runner. First free throw is up and in to give St. Vincent a 2-point lead, first score of this quarter. As it was in the first quarter, it was ice cold for the first half of the first quarter. Second up, that clanks off. Rebound secured by Laverne and Cato. The foul was on Cato. Light reprieve there with the ensuing defensive rebound. Kurahashi penetrating, leaves it outside for Irwin. She seeks open space indoors as Bishop curls from right to left. Myers, strong cross-court pass left side. Kurahashi now with Cato. 12 on the shot clock. Now Laverne, time to act. Bishop driving, forces up a runner. So a little bit of a play that mirrors the previous possession down the other way for St. Vincent. The runner nearly stripped there by the Bearcats, but instead it will be a foul. One team foul apiece for both teams in this second quarter, first half. Obviously the confusion shift apparent, calling a men's game just a few minutes ago here.
And usually we don't go in this direction. Usually we don't switch from men's to women's back to men's at this event. But Skidmore had a plane to catch, literally.
Understandable.
So we let them play at noon.
And the left-handed free throw shot is good for Bishop. We are tied for the first time since tip-off. Weems in the backcourt. A little bit of full court pressure here employed by Laverne. Across the pass goes to Carroll. They move it around, skip right side to Weems. Indoors, over to San Martin. Turn around, rolls around, won't fall. Myers battling for the rebound. Two Bearcats there as well, as Benvenuti was in the midst of the fray. This is going to be a loose ball foul against St. Vincent. Or no, just simply last touch by the Bearcats. Kurahashi fending off some light full court pressure, man-to-man defense. Into the front court, they easily clear it, however. Bishop finding the cutting, Emily Myers, and she drug a little bit, then brought down for the late jump stop. That's going to be a traveling violation. And the 8th turnover of this game against Laverne. St. Vincent taking good care of the basketball, just 3 giveaways up to this point.
Little trouble with the Laverne press there, but then turned over in the front court.
Here's a steal by Irwin of the Leopards. Into the front court comes Irwin. Irwin defended tightly by Carroll. Threw up what looked to be maybe a pass and realized gravity was bringing her down, so threw up a shot, was fouled instead. Heads up play by Shannon Irwin, and Laverne's in position for its first lead of the game.
Hard to fault gravity right there. That's really gravity's job, is to bring things down. So.
Well, thank goodness for that. I'd be worried if it wasn't doing its job.
If it were a floater, that would be another story altogether.
Save me some plane money, perhaps. But
the first free throw gives Laverne the lead.
Should give Laverne the lead. If you're looking at the scoreboard, confusion would abound at least momentarily. And St. Vincent, the beneficiary of a scoring error yesterday against Carthage. A 2 was credited as a 3. Foot on the line situation. It was not appealed by Tim Bernero of Carthage. The mistake wasn't discovered until later. And as a result, that game was sent into overtime. St. Vincent won it. And could lightning strike twice?
Oh, we'll get that fixed.
May want to let Julie Shaw be aware of the bookkeeping.
Oh, they'll figure it out, I'm sure.
So we'll say for now it is Laverne leading 18-16. Step back on its way from San Martin off the mark. It's tracked down, though, instead by Ellis. She's stuck amidst the trees in the interior. Ellis right here instead. She drives, takes it all the way. Confident move. No good. Ball is free. A fray on the floor. Rugby scrum. And finally, it's going to be a jump ball with the possession arrow pointing towards St. Vincent, who trails 18-16.
I think we have Jeff Zidek, the St. Vincent SID, going over to fix the scoreboard. So St. Vincent.
The ethical thing to do.
Yeah.
His team's the one with the lead.
By the way, do you know that you put points on the wrong side?
St. Vincent on the drive, looking for the tie. Weems up for 3, falling short. Good position by the Bearcats. Irwin batted that one away. Weems trying to chase it down, and she does in the backcourt. Irwin not relenting on the full court pressure one-on-one. Weems dumps it off in time as she begins her cut. Now trouble out on the perimeter. Julie Shaw, almost the 6th woman on the floor, trying to goad her players, and a standing tall. Jumper up for St. Vincent, no good, and this time it's Irwin who secures the rebound and will clear the pass herself.
Shaw would be the tallest player on the floor. She played at Division I. She played at UC Riverside, and she's got size that her players do not have.
Beautiful transition bucket by Kayla Chisholm. She's checked in for the first time tonight. And all of a sudden, Laverne with the momentum in this second quarter at the 5:27 mark. Benvenuto setting it up. Indoors, the runner on its way up and in. And a good take by Babette San Martin, the 5'10 sophomore out of Gaithersburg, Maryland, averaging 11 points per game coming into the weekend for St. Vincent.
The thing that got Shaw and her bench players all fired up in the previous possession was just the relentless defense out on the perimeter by the three players playing up front. That was a little lacking on the last possession, but it's also hard to bring that energy for 40 minutes.
Shannon Irwin with the very active hands and legs, first batting it around into the backcourt, trying to win that one-on-one race with Jasmine Weems, and on they went. Bishop to inbound from the left sideline in the front court for Laverne at the 5:04 mark of the second quarter. St. Vincent trailing Laverne by a bucket, 20-18. Weems swarmed, a little bit of a zone here, finds the cutting Cato, no good. Bishop tries to bat the rebound outside. Now it's fought for, and Bishop with a strong hustle wins the offensive rebound for the Leopards, looks to reset outside Kurahashi. She'll go to the reset, angling to the right side, defended one-on-one by Weems. Chisholm calling for the ball, all alone instead. Cato left side, three off the rim, no good. St. Vincent, now they clear.
I thought Laverne took some ill-advised three-pointers in the game against DeSales. Even though they haven't gotten the shots to fall here, I still feel like they're making good shot decisions.
Laverne ice cold from outside, now 0 for 6. St. Vincent not much better. Strong rejection as Chisholm sent it left side to the baseline. St. Vincent not much success outside either from three-point range. Just 1 for 9 at this 4:21 minute mark left in the first half.
Yeah, some of that can be attributed to the fact that, again, Laverne's playing pretty aggressively, at least of late, defensively out on the perimeter, but some of it is just struggling shooting too.
Weems' gorgeous cut, but careened into her defender, and she'll be called for the offensive charge. Weems very active in this one for St. Vincent. Weems 4 for 7 from the field. She's knocked down both of her free throw shots. 11 points, 4 rebounds for a player who only stands at 5'2". A lot of short guards on the side or on the floor for both teams, so ostensibly someone has to be responsible for the rebounding load. But a little bit surprising that the point guard's kind of setting the tone in that department so far.
Well, she's aggressive. She knows where to be on the floor, right? She follows the shot really well. And, you know, they're not boxing her out 20 feet away from the basket either.
Weems calls for help. She's aided by Morgan. And again, Irwin, her hands in the passing lanes. Not necessarily inside the perimeter, but whoever she's guarding that time, it was Mara Benvenuti making life difficult for the 5'9 junior. Weems sets it up. 3:55 left in this first half. All of a sudden, it's become a defensive struggle, and that one nutmegs right through the legs of Morgan out of bounds.
Yeah, the offenses have definitely been struggling here in the second quarter. We're going to end up possibly with, well, it's a little too early to say that, but we're under 4 minutes to go, and both teams in single digits for the quarter.
Laverne outscoring St. Vincent thus far in the second quarter 6-3. They're on offense. Kurahashi to Bishop. Bishop, high pass over to Irwin, and this is happening without the high-scoring player, Emily Myers, out of the game, taking a much-needed breather. She's already in double-figure scoring in this game. At one point of the game, she was pacing for 40 points. That's sure to cool off. Morgan, long three, has space, and St. Vincent knocks down just its second three-pointer of the day to retake the lead. Laverne still looking for its first three of the game. Wild runner by Kurahashi, nearly went down from about 8 feet out, but Chisholm's there on the follow to retake the lead for her Leopards. Closing in on the 3-minute mark. Ball nearly went free. Little frantic play and a nice setup from Weems down low for Katie Ryan to put it away for two. And now we're seeing a flurry of lead changes for both sides.
Yeah, once again, maybe a little bit slow to get started, but then the offense is picking up.
Chisholm airballs the pull-up from the top of the elbow. Last touch is going to be by Laverne. Or was it St. Vincent, as we see Kurahashi preparing to inbound. Kurahashi will inbound from the front court baseline. And back in here comes Emily Myers. So time for Laverne to lock down on the high-flying, high-scoring forward for Laverne and Emily Myers. Already with 12 points in this one, off 6 for 9 shooting. That time, Laverne comes up empty from the right side.
Yeah, nice block from behind by Mara Benvenuti. Kept Irwin from having anything close to a look at the basket.
2:44 left first quarter. St. Vincent with a 1-point lead once more. Weems breaks away from Kurahashi, dumps it outside for Benvenuti. Benvenuti working her way, just throws up a prayer, kind of scooped it up with two hands as she broke free on the pivot and draws the foul instead. Not the prettiest play in the world, but absolutely effective.
Yeah, exactly. You're probably sensing a little bit of frustration, right? But she had just made a big play on the defensive end and maybe thinking got an opportunity, if nothing else, Obviously an opportunity to draw the foul, maybe an opportunity to put in a circus basket and get her team fired up.
Mara Benvenuti is the second leading scorer on this team heading into the weekend at 12.5 points per game, leading rebounder as well at 7.5 boards per game, trying to get herself going today. As the free throw good there for the Bearcats, making it a 24-22 St. Vincent lead. Starting ball handler Erica Pakalinawan back into the game for Laverne. Up top Myers, one dribble, settles for the long jumper, bang! She's now 7 for 10 from the field in this first half. Absolutely unstoppable is Emily Myers. Jasmine Weems in space with the pull-up, off the mark, nearly saved it is by Ryan. Draws in the double team, outside Morgan, throws up the teardrop, and it's an offensive foul. Morgan can't believe it. Laverne with the much-needed defensive stop and a 24-24 ball game. That is the fourth team foul of the second quarter against St. Vincent. Laverne, if they get aggressive, maybe they'll be headed to the charity stripe here. Bishop on the left side setup. She'll take it herself. Throw up the offhanded runner. Not going to fall. What hustle indoors by Cato to keep it alive for the second chance. Emily Myers amidst the trees. She's headed to the line. And thus, Laverne enters the bonus.
Justin, I've been trying to pay a little more close attention, specifically isolating what they're trying to do defensively on Emily Myers. And Katie Ryan has, on the last 3 touches, one time she was in really good position. Second time she kind of maybe misjudged how much Myers' range was. She left her with some space out at the foul line. And there on that last one, just completely lost track of her as she was able to get the rebound and get to the foul line.
Well, the frustration abounds because one of the guards in that play, Kurahashi, or make it Carly Cato, bounced it around outside, and after that it was tough to recover on Myers, who still drew in the triple team. But right now there simply are no answers for the leading scorer on this Laverne squad, and Emily Myers, who knocks down both free throws to give back the lead to Laverne. She has 16 points alone in this first quarter and still 1:35 left. Trouble indoors, but it's recovered. They'll attack a second time outside Weems, moving it left. Ellis on the drive, setting up Morgan for the left side corner 3. Clanks off the back iron. Pakalinawan tried to chase it down, but Weems gets there first, and it's an offensive reprieve for St. Vincent. They're on the high elbow action. Runner on the way from Ryan, not going to fall. Myers, strong rebound, ripping it away, comes out running for Laverne, and now looks for a friendly ball handler. There's one, and Pakalinawan. Pakalinawan keeping it, hands off to Irwin. Irwin back outside, creating space. Faye Osborne back on the floor for Laverne. Pakalinawan inside a minute to go. Good threat indoors. There's Meyer again. Had position and right back to the free throw line. Heads Emily Myers, already 16 points and counting.
Yep, and on that particular possession, Myers maybe even a little bit too far underneath the basket, set up maybe a little bit too low in the low post. Might have gotten bailed out there a little bit, but still, if they hadn't fouled her, she still had the opportunity to make a move and try to get better position.
Myers knocks down the first free throw for Laverne, who remains perfect from the charity stripe in this first half, now 7 for 7. Not a lot of luck outside from three-point range for Laverne, 0 for 6, but they're making up for that void in plenty of other ways, mainly their leading scorer who's at the line right now for the second release, and it's up and in. Laverne remaining perfect from the free throw line, and they have a 28-24 lead. This is their largest lead of the game for an SCIAC team who enters this game just 2-6 on the season, looking for what would be a key victory today. Long three-pointer up, no good for St. Vincent. Here comes Pakalinawan the other way. In down low, Myers again.
Myers
18 points.
Continues to impress me, she does, with the way she scores in transition. And again, I thought maybe too far underneath the basket, but she was very smooth in transitioning the ball into a spot where she could score.
Weems with a dangerous pass, nearly let it too long for Morgan, but contorts to save it over to the direction of Ellis. Now Morgan again, into the corner with Ellis. 16 seconds, about a 4-second differential between the game clock and shot clock. Three-pointer up by Carroll and gets it. Third three-pointer made of this game for either team, and they're all on the St. Vincent side. They pull within one at 30-29. 3 seconds. Myers, her first three-point toss of the game. And that's one of the few field goals she's missed in this first half for Laverne. Feisty one. A well-played game back and forth between the Laverne Leopards and the St. Vincent Bearcats. Pat Coleman, in a moment, he'll head over and catch up with the head coach of Laverne, Julie Shaw, third-year head coach. She's given, her team is given the production and given Laverne, St. Vincent, all they can handle. And now Pat's joined by Julie. What do you got, Pat?
All right, thanks a lot. Coach, night and day between the two games for Emily Myers and for your team as a whole.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I told them it was the worst game we ever played all season so far yesterday. So we're coming in good. They're a lot more focused. I think we got the rust off a little bit, but it's absolutely not over. So I see more mistakes coming, good highlights coming too, but I want to play that second half through.
Yeah, meanwhile, I thought what really fired you guys up, you specifically, and I think the rest of the bench, was effort on defense here in the front court.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm usually active anyways, and we know that a lot of energy comes from our bench and from our defense, and that's where we want it to come from today.
Hey, Coach, congrats. Good luck in the second half.
Okay, thank you very much.
Back to Justin.
Thanks a lot, Pat. Well, a great first half here in the second of 4 games, final women's matchup of this 4-day 2015 D3Hoops.com Classic. 20 minutes in the books, 20 more to come, and at the half, it's Laverne leading St. Vincent 30-26. Emily Myers leading the way, a dominant first half, and we'll see what's left to come. We'll be back here in about 10 minutes for halftime analysis and the second half. Plenty more to come from Las Vegas, Nevada. This is the D3Hoops.com Classic on D3Hoops.com. And we welcome you back to the South Point Resort Arena alongside Pat Coleman, Justin Sweeney on hand for Game 2 of Game 4 of today's 4-game quadruple header. Women's matchup, final women's matchup of the day. At the half, it's Laverne leading St. Vincent 30-26. Laverne going back and forth with St. Vincent, who led this game wire to wire over the first 12-13 minutes of the game before Laverne got going. Emily Myers has been leading the way, 20 points. We joked after the first quarter when she had 10 points that she was pacing for 40, rested for about the first 5 minutes of that second quarter, but when she came back in, quickly made up for lost time, and Laverne has to keep going to Myers because other than her, there's not a whole lot of production going around. There's been a whole lot of inefficient shots, and anytime Myers has touched the ball, it's seemingly resulting in an efficient possession. Laverne shooting 34% from the field, but you take away Myers' 8 for 12 performance, and the rest of this slate just 15% as a whole. Meanwhile, on the other side, St. Vincent seeing a bit more balanced. Jasmine Weems leading the Bearcats in scoring, shooting 4 for 8 from the field, leading to 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. Weems really doing it all right now, and we saw a collection of things in that first half. Good moments, bad moments for both teams, but we've seen a whole lot of consistent, crisp passing by the St. Vincent side. We've seen Laverne with a slew of small guards willing to battle on the boards, where they're currently out-rebounding St. Vincent as a team, 25-22. St. Vincent has 10 offensive boards, 9 offensively for Laverne, but it seems like those offensive rebounds and second-chance opportunities are contributing to better scoring opportunities for the Leopards versus the Bearcats.
Well, I tell you, Justin, clearly, as we've said, the offense is really running through Myers. The problem is it's not running when she's not running, and it's not running when she's not on the floor. The slow start in the second quarter coincides perfectly with her being off the floor, and they need to figure out how to handle that.
Laverne turns it over on the first possession. 9:40 and ticking just underway in this second half. Hannah Carroll with that steal, and now a foul down low on the frustrated Noelle Cobb with her arm straight up. Instead, it's going to send Mara Benvenuti to the line for St. Vincent. Benvenuti with a cold shooting first half, just 1 for 5 with 3 points. But St. Vincent has got enough contribution off the bench so far. 3 players off the bench contributing for 7 points.
Let's talk about, again, how much of a struggle that second quarter was, as the first free throw is good. From the floor, Laverne 4 for 15, so that is about 29%. 4 for 17 from the floor for St. Vincent, 1 for 6 from downtown for St. Vincent, 0 for 3 from downtown for Laverne.
We checked the segmented box score at one point in that second quarter, as here Benvenuti misses the second of 2 free throws. Over 5 minutes elapsed into that second quarter. Laverne had outscored St. Vincent just 6-3. But the offensive output picked up from both teams over the final stretch of that second quarter. Irwin outside, shot clock halfway extinguished on this play. Myers nowhere to be found so far, as St. Vincent has apparently gone to his own here, and now they get it to Myers, but it's stripped away, nearly saved in bounds by the Bearcats. Heads up play by San Martin there to make things difficult for Emily Myers, who torched St. Vincent to the tune of 20 points in that first half.
5 seconds to shoot here.
Myers calling for the ball. Instead, they'll send it on the right corner. Return to Pakalinawan. Jumper falls short.
So Laverne didn't do enough in that set offensively to even really show for sure what St. Vincent was doing. They didn't move without the basketball, so we couldn't even tell if that was a zone or matchup or if it was just a really loose, sagging man-to-man defense.
Meanwhile, St. Vincent has begun this second half with a procession to the free throw line, a couple of interior attacks that Laverne has had to settle for fouling on. This time it's going to be Hannah Carroll stepping to the line for St. Vincent. Carroll was 1 for 4 in that first half with 2 points. But starting to make a little bit of business early in the second half at the foul line. Both teams struggling from the three-point line. Laverne 0 for 7 from out deep in that first half compared to just 2 for 12 for St. Vincent from the three-point line. Carroll perfect on that trip from the line. 8:54 and ticking in this third quarter. Laverne leading St. Vincent 30-29. Bakalinawan setting things up left wing. Irwin cutting through. Myers calls for the ball, goes to work, sends it across. Irwin has space for a long 2, ribbing in and out. Nice setup for Myers. She's there on the offensive reprieve and will re-enter outside. Faye Osborne to set things up on the left end up top. Pakalinawan return. Osborne trying to challenge a couple of St. Vincent defenders in down low, and she gains the foul drawn.
Yeah, St. Vincent is definitely just playing very loose man-to-man defense, and that's the right. I think it's the right idea right now, because Occidental is Occidental, I keep doing that. Laverne is 0 for 7 from downtown, and they didn't shoot very well from downtown against DeSales either.
Both play with that orange and black hue. Laverne a little more green, but not too much trim to witness today.
I know. That's totally on me.
Well, we had Occidental here last year, so it's almost a little bit of deja vu.
All over again?
Well, we hope so. We hope a lot of these teams elect to come here all over again. We know Chuck McBreen's team will be back here next year.
Go figure. Ramapo men here at the D3Hoops.com Classic.
The D3Hoops.com Classic brought to you by Ramapo and Chuck McBreen.
It should be at least featuring Ramapo, right?
Have to make a little more room for a subset of Ramapo on the marquee next year. Turnover here by St. Vincent. 8:03 to go in this third quarter. Laverne still yet to score, still with the lead though, and a little too much hop stepping inside. Diana Pena turns it over, the 5'9" seeder out of Baldwin Park, California. On the way of Baldwin Park High School. Pena shooting better than 50% from the floor coming into this weekend. Weems zips it ahead. Now to Benvenuti. Benvenuti draws a double team deep in the right corner, sends it outside. Ellis for three. Misses off to the left side, but it's nothing but black jerseys in the vicinity of where the ball careened towards. They'll do it again. Benvenuti, bodied by Irwin. Around a high pick. Now met again on a double team. They'll try to throw it inside. Pena ripped through. Lots of contact as down went San Martin. Laverne comes away with the turnover forced.
Yeah, Pena at first had ball, and then it turned into a lot of contact. So maybe that's the reason why it was let go.
That's always where things become complicated. If you touch nothing but the ball first and the motion continues, then resulting into the body grapple, is it really a foul? Maybe in the end, not so much at the start of the motion.
I just don't know what sound the tree makes. When it falls in the forest.
Exactly.
Does it make a sound?
Well, Laverne, one of their official colors, going back to that Spectrum Fuel discussion, forest green.
There you go.
Pakalinawan on the inbound. Outside Myers, just 7 seconds remaining on the shot clock for Laverne. As Pakalinawan realized that, over to Irwin. Now they're counting out the tick. Ball was batted around. Deflection went to Myers, but couldn't deliver it in time, and we'd go the other way. At least for Myers, that'll keep her free field goal percentage in check.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, right. I don't think that shot will count, right? But it definitely a lack of awareness of where the shot clock was in that situation. 2 passes before they even realized that they were running out.
San Martin outside to Weems, who has been electric in this one. Had it stripped once more, and the last touch goes off the lower body, it appeared, of Jasmine Weems. St. Vincent having trouble taking care of the basketball, and we see this recurring theme in both of the first 2 quarters, now repeating itself here at the start of the third quarter. Low-scoring ball games, sloppy beginnings, and in the final 5 minutes, that's when all the Hollywood action begins. Here's Myers trying to get a full head of steam, works her way to the block, and draws the foul. Laverne still scoreless in this first quarter, having been outscored by St. Vincent now 3-0.
And they're a bit of a different look from Myers than we've seen right through the first game and a half. Putting the ball on the floor, out in their perimeter, taking it to the basket. I think perhaps the St. Vincent's defense was a little bit caught off guard as well.
That was one of the more classic Justine Benner-esque type moves as the attack occurred from the top of the left elbow.
Is Justine Benner, is she a George Fox player?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I don't know much about that team. Myers' second free throw is up and right through, and Laverne has its first 2 points of this half.
Pressure here in the backcourt for Laverne.
We'll figure it out. Plenty of time. Plenty of time for both of these teams. NBA, beyond NBA range 3 from Hannah Carroll. I think she lifted that one from about 34 feet out. Here comes Irwin the other way, trying to zigzag her way up to the left elbow. Outside Osborne, looks at the hoop, ponders a drive, throws it up. What a move by Faye Osborne. First field goal of the third quarter for the Laverne Leopards. Quickly in transition, it's Benvenuti, who tries to make him pay. She does, and that's a long 2-pointer for the Bearcats.
They called 3.
Really?
I just happen to disagree.
Maybe we'll have to take a look at that. Of course, all these games up on YouTube for posterity. Feel free to go back and look at your favorite team's game if you weren't able to catch it live. And Faye Osborne drains the long 3-pointer, and that's the first 3-pointer put down tonight for Laverne at the 5:07 mark of this third quarter.
And you know what that's going to do if they can hit another one of those, especially going to force St. Vincent to play a little more aggressively out on the perimeter, open things up on the inside for Irwin and Myers.
And you'll have to worry about Emily Myers as she's been potent all night long. San Martin on the drive, trying to spin her way eluding Emily Myers, lost the basketball, and she's called for the late foul there. Not a productive play for Babette San Martin. Laverne with a 5-point lead. Their largest lead of the game was at 6 just momentarily at the final minute of the first half. Myers, high post, still keeps the dribble, finds Irwin on the cut, open space, blew the layup. Tough runner, she left it up with the right hand from the left side. Ahead to Weems. Weems looking across, launches it, high pass, sails right over there. San Martin moves it around. Weems doesn't want the three. She'll penetrate and attack. Tries to complete the reverse. She does. Gets the friendly roll at the end.
Yeah, amazing what you can do, right? You're a 5'2" guard listed at 5'2", but still plenty of ways for her to score even inside.
Weems averaging 8.5 points per game coming into the weekend, better than 3.5 assists per game. Cato from outside. She just checked back into the ball game, and it's Laverne who, after being ice cold and scoreless from the three-point line all night long, has now hit back-to-back triples. 4:21 to go in this third quarter. Laverne matching its largest lead of the game. Weems will try to respond, cannot do so as the ball careens out of bounds.
Yeah, we'll see now how this affects how St. Vincent plays defense, right? And we'll see how it affects how Laverne has the opportunity to try to put the ball inside, whether they throw it into the post, whether they try dribble penetration. But now, if you force St. Vincent to defend out at the 20-foot perimeter mark, then things could change on the inside.
Osborne on the run, scored a moment ago, can't do so this time. Emily Myers comes directly over the back, and she's not going to be able to escape that verdict. For Laverne, that's their 4th team foul of this third quarter. St. Vincent with just 3 misdeeds so far. They're back into the full court press. Cato meeting Weems one-on-one in the backcourt. They sail it across. Morgan has just checked back into the game. A dipsy-do move, crossing over, meanders her way deep into the paint, and scores on the runner. St. Vincent back to within 4.
Really pretty move and a much-needed field goal as Laverne had edged out to a 6-point lead.
Myers calling for the ball. Bishop cannot deliver it from the left side. Osborne knew that three-pointer was off as soon as she launched it. Followed her on miss in the right spot. The putback is there. Osborne all alone, and she has come alive in this third quarter for Laverne.
Follow your shot. Didn't we all learn that in 4th grade?
One of the first things you learn. Also protect the ball. Both these teams have been doing that over the last 4 minutes. Three-pointer on the way from Carroll. Falling short off the front of the iron. Here's an immediate transition opportunity. Cato trying to win the race, make it. Kurahashi with Weems closing in on her late. She gets the layup, and Laverne's ahead by 8.
Yeah, Weems had the closing speed, but they were able to finish.
Weems over to Ryan, and it's a blocking foul on Myers. She has picked up 2 quick ones.
I believe that should be number 3 on Myers.
So Myers, the first time she's had foul trouble tonight. After that was the story of the game which plagued her yesterday in the loss against DeSales, a 19-point defeat at the hands of the Bulldogs. Laverne has rebounded nicely today, still don't have this one in hand, as this could be anyone's ball game right now, but Laverne's offense has crispened up in the last 3 minutes. First free throw is off the mark by Katie Ryan.
So Myers is going to get a breather here after picking up those 2 quick fouls. Kayla Chisholm comes back into the game for the Leopards.
Laverne's field goal percentage has improved all the way to 38%. St. Vincent stuck at 30.2% shooting from the field. Second free throw is up and good for the Bearcats, and they're back within 7 as we surpass the 3-minute mark of this third quarter. Kurahashi, dangerous pass, nearly telegraphed that one, but it's recovered by Osborne. Osborne trying to penetrate, pulls back beyond the perimeter, terminates her dribble. Now across Kurahashi. Kurahashi leaving it for Bishop. Turnaround shot is sent away. And here comes St. Vincent. Much needed stop. Morgan trying to win the race up the floor with Kurahashi. Benvenuti swings it over to Carroll. She'll take it in deep, lose control of the basketball, and now the turnover bug has bitten St. Vincent once again. That's now the Bearcats' 11th turnover of this night. Driving baseline jumper deep on the way, rimming in and out. Wouldn't stay home there for Laverne's Noelle Cobb. This game's tempo gradually increasing as we close in on the final moments of this third quarter. Benvenuti on the move, forks up the runner, no good. Chisholm rips away the rebound and now looks to clear. 2 minutes to go in this third quarter. Kurahashi across, still a 7-point lead for Laverne. One-on-one, Kurahashi versus Carroll, across to Osborne on the left side. Chisholm calling for the ball down low. Osborne has been on fire, missed it all on the runner, may have been partially blocked. Chisholm got the follow in midair on the refeed, was fouled in the act of shooting. This will send Kayla Chisholm to the line, and for the first time this half, a little bit of size to witness as out goes Myers, who's a tall specimen in her own right, listed at 6 feet in favor of Kayla Chisholm.
And where we've seen Chisholm so far in the first game and a half that they've been here is really primarily on the defensive end, primarily for her rebounding. She's had the size. Remember, they had her bodying up against the big post players from DeSales yesterday when they needed a little bit of exercise. Not as involved on the offensive end, but there she makes the first free throw.
Minute 47 to go in this third quarter. Chisholm knocks down the all-important first free throw. The second is true as well. Laverne, comfortable 9-point lead against St. Vincent. St. Vincent have enough left in the tank to make this thing a thin margin. Morgan, Mr. Post player inside, finally delivers that down there, and that arrival came late for Anisha Leffridge. Leffridge misses on the short turnaround. Beg your pardon, that's 24 on Laverne. 24 on the Bearcats is Lucy Bujos. And Bujos was open for what seemed to be an eternity before the entry pass arrived to her. She's fouled in the process and will step to the line. And there goes one.
That had been Laverne's biggest lead of the game. Still a significant advantage here for the Leopards. But St. Vincent has the skill to get back into it, especially if Myers remains on the bench for a significant time. But they haven't really cut into it here so far.
Both teams not leaving many points on the table free throw-wise. Laverne's still a perfect 12 for 12, while St. Vincent is 9 for 13 from the charity stripe. Up the floor comes Kurahashi. A minute 25 left in this third quarter. Hands off to Bishop. Bishop one-on-one. Steps through and stepped a bit too much. That's a traveling violation. Laverne continues to lead this game in turnovers. That's now their 14th giveaway. They're looking for the reprieve, looking to make amends. But this time it's Maria Morgan who aids in breaking down the press. Good pinpoint passing on the cut. Inside is Carroll for two.
Yeah, and in all honesty, Justin, I was beginning to think that maybe that was one pass too many, but they came up with the basket, and there's a turnover on a travel.
Good look again this time from Noelle Cobb, but she shuffled before she could establish the plant. And a couple of needless turnovers down the stretch here for Laverne have allowed St. Vincent to have the opportunity to make this a one-possession game once more. And again, Laverne slow in transition defense. Two wide open bunnies on the left blocker put in by Carroll.
Quarter break couldn't come fast enough for Laverne. They're really running, and finally, indeed, Coach Shaw is going to get a timeout here with 41.5 to go in the third.
Well, it was Julie Shaw who conveyed to you face-to-face at the half. We're going to see some highlight moments, but I also foresee some rough stretches for my team, and right now she's trying to weather through the most current rough stretch of this game.
Yeah, it is. It's been a really tough past 4 or 5 possessions down the floor defensively. St. Vincent doing a good job making the extra pass, getting the finish here on the other end. Laverne on offense, just not being able to put anything together. And again, I don't think it's a coincidence that it comes at the same time as Emily Myers being off the floor.
Myers had to have her rest, and she's in a little bit of foul trouble, and 3 is not bad territory. She was limited very much yesterday, picking up her first 2 quite early in the ball game, only mustered 16 minutes of gameplay all night long, fouled out with 5 fouls, never really got going, just 3 for 5 from the field. Obviously, when she's on the floor, she's going to make her presence count, but tonight they need to have her presence on the floor for the final 10 minutes perhaps.
Yeah, and Coach Shaw is not putting her in here for the final 41 seconds of the third quarter.
Nearing in on the final half-minute mark of this third quarter, Laverne leading by just a triple after being up by 9 moments ago. Inside, now they kick it out to Kurahashi, across to Bishop, uses the ball fake, drives indoors, steps through, gorgeous Euro step, and what a move along the baseline for Bishop to extend the Laverne lead back up to 5. 17 seconds, St. Vincent pondered attacking inside quickly. They had numbers down low, and now they will reset. High pressure coming from Kurahashi. Into the middle, they move it. Ripped outside. Carroll wants the three-point try. It has not been falling for Hannah Carroll tonight from out deep. Hannah Carroll now just 0 for 6. St. Vincent will not get a shot off in time, so credit Julie Shaw. She used a timeout with about a minute to spare, and Laverne contributed a well-fought final minute, a productive final minute of that third quarter to give themselves a little more breathing room. Still the lead as they move into the final 10 minutes of regulation here from South Point Resort Arena.
And a good job by Laverne recovering, right? Shaw does a good job getting that timeout, getting her team in front of her, getting them to regroup, and then they come back out, they get an offensive basket, and they get a defensive stop. Much better position than they were with 42 seconds to go in that quarter.
At the end of 3 quarters, Laverne with the 48-43 against St. Vincent. We'll take about a 10-second break and be back with you here on D3Hoops.com. Welcome back for the start of the 4th quarter between Laverne, tenuously holding on to this 5-point lead against St. Vincent, 48-43. St. Vincent went on a big run over the final 3 minutes of that 3rd quarter. They have the first possession of this final quarter. Inside from Carroll, looking for San Martin, and she gets the short fall away from outside the left block to go. It's a 1-possession game once more. Emily Myers begins this 4th quarter on the bench. She's the big-time leading scorer in this one with 22 points and counting. She had 10 points in each of the first 2 quarters, just 2 in the 3rd as she's begun to cool off. And here comes St. Vincent looking to pick up more steam. Morgan attacking from the right corner, leaves it outside for Benvenuti to set and fire for the tie. No good. Another offensive rebound for the Bearcats.
And Coach Shaw just waved Myers in. They're sending her to the scores table. One thing about having that quarter break, Justin, is you get an opportunity to get your kids an extra 3 minutes or so on the bench. You get them out right before the end of the quarter, kind of like a D1 coach or an NCAA tournament coach would right before a media timeout. You can get a kid a lot of rest by not missing a whole lot of game time.
Cato reached through and forced the turnover, but Laverne returns the favor, and here comes the Bearcats pushing the other way. Inside Morgan, stepped through against Cato and got it to go. Myers just stuck there on an island waiting to check into this ball game with the Laverne lead rapidly disintegrating.
Exactly. Lots of energy coming out here for St. Vincent. You have to think that they know that this is their opportunity to make some hay without Myers in the game.
And inside normally where Myers would be, Noelle Cobb turns over the basketball on the block. And it's going to be a much-needed, timely, nearly clutch still at 8:39 to go, 29 to go. In this 4th quarter, an offensive foul forced by Laverne, and not only does that give possession back to Laverne, but it allows Myers to check into the ball game.
Yeah, exactly. That really is a double loss there for St. Vincent. Just a little bit too aggressive, and I think Hannah Carroll's not happy with the call, but she really ought to be more frustrated with herself.
Well, it was an ugly start to that 3rd quarter. After 4 minutes of gameplay, St. Vincent had outscored Laverne 3-0. Laverne ended up outscoring St. Vincent 18-17 in that 3rd frame. Myers misses the long jumper. The putback by Irwin won't go, and then it was Myers who was there for the 3rd chance try and throws her head back in a bit of frustration there. 3 good looks, and none of them fall through for Laverne. They go back to work on defense.
Yeah. Myers comes over to Irwin. Irwin a little bit frustrated. Myers just shakes her head, said no problem, slaps her 5, and they're back out.
2 leading scorers on this team. They know it's their time. Benvenuti got the step ahead of Myers, blew the layup, but again another offensive rebound for the Bearcats. Here comes Morgan on the attack, draws in 2 defenders down deep. Back up top is Carroll, zips it indoors. And the foul coming against, is that Emily Myers? If so, that would be her 4th. As rising up was Lucy Bujos. Bujos starting to come alive in this 2nd half for St. Vincent.
It is indeed foul number 4 for Emily Myers. And so you see Chisholm already coming back to the scores table, probably to replace her after this free throw.
So for Laverne, the lead is gone. The game is tied, and you just got to forward water here for the next 3-4 minutes or so to bring in Emily Myers for the stretch run. A precarious time developing for Laverne. 2-6 coming into this one, and a prime opportunity to wrest away a victory today. 2nd free throw good, and St. Vincent has completed the comeback from being down 9 late in the 3rd quarter. Pakalinawan back on the floor, right for Bishop. Up top, Pakalinawan, the 5'3 junior guard out of Anaheim Hills, California. She fakes right now, feeds it right to Bishop. Shot clock halfway extinguished on this possession. Cato on the cup, throws up a prayer. The scoop bounces around. She was halfway sideways and appeared with the left hand. Laverne with the 1-point lead at 50-49.
Nice effort and a very much needed basket right there.
Carroll left corner, doesn't see anything down there. They'll march it back up top to Benvenuti. Benvenuti defended nicely from a distance by Pakalinawan. Bujos waits to make her move. Tough mid-range jumper, and the foul's going to come against Kato, who had her hand in her periphery and was apparently a little too close body to body. The foul will go against Carly Cato, 5'7" junior out of Whittier. Major in kinesiology, but the body was out of rhythm on that defensive attempt. First free throw, up and in for Burgos, who continues to be key in this St. Vincent comeback, as now these teams trading leads and ties at the 7:04 mark of this final quarter.
Laverne led this game 46-37, and then they trailed 49-48. The 12-2 run got them back in this game.
Cato moving it into the corner. Irwin's second leading scorer by average on the floor right now, with Myers muddled on the bench. Long jumper up. Pakalinawan off the mark, and the rebound by the Bearcats. A 1-point lead, licking their chops as they pursue more. 6:44 left in this fourth quarter. Bearcats already coming away with a tightly fought victory in overtime yesterday against Carthage, winning 67-60. Got extra minutes be in store once more on a second consecutive day for St. Vincent. Across up top, Carroll make it Bujos for a three. Gets it, rather Ellis. Ellis knocks down the three. We have not heard from Ellis in quite a while. The leading scorer on this team, Susie Ellis, her first field goal of the night with 4 points, and what a time for that score to arrive. Julie Shaw, head coach of Laverne, calls for timeout with 6:15 to go in this fourth quarter. It is the largest deficit in some time for her Laverne Leopards.
This is a tough period right now for Laverne. They're already back on their heels. Momentum definitely not on their side. Myers unable to play because of picking up her fourth foul. She already missed a significant amount of time, picking up her third foul about midway through the third quarter, and they have struggled to find offense without her on the floor.
And it's easy to ask from her armchair position, but she's been out for the last minute and a half, and you already want to ponder, is it time now? Is the time now for Myers to check back into this game and try and risk it with 4 fouls and just have her play a little bit more passively and carefully down low on the interior?
I'm a little more focused on the fact that had to fix the scoreboard on our screen. Usually it's been one of the other scoreboards in the building that we've been concerned about, but 54-50 is the correct score, and now it's reflected properly here on the broadcast.
I think we can afford one user error per game from the D3 crew.
Well, we're the least official of all the scoreboards, so.
Ball back into play. St. Vincent has outscored Laverne in this quarter 11-2. The Leopards looking for an offensive answer. They've been hotter in the final 5 minutes of every quarter than the top of it, and there is Chisholm switching in direction and stepping through. Much needed field goal there for the Leopards. Here comes a serious trap at midcourt. Ellis is able to elude the grasp and move away and set up the usual ball handler, Jasmine Weems, who's been absolutely productive in every conceivable category on this night for the Bearcats. 5:41 remaining in the fourth quarter. Weems, she wants the three. It's away. It's off the mark. Falling short. She bats it free, and Jasmine Weems will do it again. A one-woman wrecking crew nearly in the first half for St. Vincent's. Her friends have stepped up to aid her cause in this second half. Ellis draws in a crowd. They move it back to the middle. And Santa Martin knocks down the elbow jumper. The St. Vincent lead back to 4, 56-52. With 5:12 remaining in this fourth quarter.
I think
Myers with 4 fouls remains on the bench.
I think all of that offensive set there was fueled by Weems' rebound, and that is her 7th rebound, tied for the team high.
Osborne looking for daylight, trying to stave off her defender. Back up top with Irwin. She has not wanted the three. Outside, Cato three is up, no good. Ball fought for. It's an offensive rebound for Laverne. Chisholm with it, zips it to the cutting Irwin, draws a crowd outside. Osborne for three, yes! And Laverne climbs back within one. We got a ball game coming down the wire. The Bearcats on the run the other way. Benvenuti, no good. The rebound up. We got a loose ball foul down low. Looks like it's going to be based on the clapping on the St. Vincent bench to go against Laverne.
it is Chisholm being waving her hand. She desperately wants to get out of this game. You saw how she just basically did not come down to defend that fast break at all. That they have not sent someone to the bench for her. They need her.
Ellis breaking free, but Laverne nearly took it away from her. The runner-up, no good by Bujos, Shan Martin, who's been having an excellent second half. Here's Laverne quickly on the move. Osborne, the pull-up, no good. Ball touched by 2 Bearcats, and finally it's wrested away by the team in black. Here comes Ellis and a whistle.
And Myers is waiting to check in, and once again, St. Vincent is the one that stops the clock that allows Myers to get in. Laverne only has 2 timeouts remaining. They were not in a position to call timeout with the offense, the ball in the offensive end to try to get Myers into the game. Chisholm is finally going to get her break, and Myers is going to get a chance to see if she can contribute here with 4 fouls and 4:13 to go. Her team down 1.
Well, Laverne has done the job in about 3.5 minutes after Myers picked up her 4th foul. The mission was to tread water and stay in this one, and after losing Emily Myers out of this game, they have only lost 1 point off of the margin since then. So for this final stretch, 4:13 remaining in this 4th quarter, you bring in your closer, who's not really just a closer, but sort of maybe trying to pitch a complete game of sorts. Laverne trailing St. Vincent 56-55. Laverne shooting 35% from the field, St. Vincent shooting 33%. Laverne, after beginning this game 0 for 7 from three-point range, now shooting 3 for 12 from distance. And St. Vincent has cooled off to 4 for 21 for 19% from behind the arc. Both teams, again, shooting very well from the free throw line. Laverne 12 for 12, St. Vincent 14 for 18. Do we have any scores around the top 25? I know we had at least one game that was a bit of a shocker involving Wartburg out of the IIAC. Winners against Wheaton. Has that one gone final, or?
You have to look to your left. You give me more than 2 seconds warning on scoreboard.
That was the big story of the day. My apologies, Pat.
It is final. Wartburg wins 75-69.
So how about that? Wheaton, who had a big victory yesterday against St. Thomas. Both those teams have spent time in the top 10.
How about this? 10th ranked St. Thomas beats 5th ranked Oshkosh 67-58 in the consolation game
well, there
of
you go.
Wartburg's tournament.
It's a consolation game, but don't tell that to St. Thomas, playing with high stakes.
Or Oshkosh, who went 0-2 at that tournament.
So a tough weekend for a heavily favored team in 2016 out of the WIAC, and a traveling violation up top against Babette San Martin. Costly decision there. And Laverne, inside 4 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter, has a chance to retake the lead with Myers on the floor.
14th turnover of the game and the 7th of the second half for St. Vincent.
Erica Pakalinawan initiates the offense on this trip for Laverne. Outside, Osborne pondered the 3 for a moment. Kicks it outside. Irwin, long 2, got it to go! Laverne retakes the lead up 57-56.
Big time for Shannon Irwin, who was 1 for 8 from the floor before that shot.
Irwin batted away the pass, and the Leopards forced the turnover. That's St. Vincent's 15th turnover of the day. Myers, right corner, up top for Irwin, looking for an open player. Cato on the drive, throws up the runner, off the front of the rim, batted her out, and here comes the rush. It's Weems, a 2-on-1. She wants to do it herself, rises and fires, no good. She's able to get the offensive rebound to herself. What a game we have enjoyed all night long, and they will call time. This time, James Petruska wants to talk it over with his St. Vincent squad.
Weems, a tremendous amount of energy coming down. Again, pulls up short with the jumper in the lane. Not able to get it, but she hustles, gets her 8th rebound, and is able to preserve this offensive possession. Once again, for St. Vincent in a spot where they really need it, because what's interesting is what's happening on the other end, right, Justin? Myers is back, but Shannon Irwin getting a chance to get a little bit more involved in this game. She was the big scorer for them yesterday against DeSales when Myers was rendered completely ineffective. Irwin today been really quiet. She's gotten a lot of rebounds, but that was just as I said, just the second field goal, the one that she made to give herself 6 and put Laverne back on top.
Shannon Irwin, just her second field goal, 2 for 9, but what a time for that bucket to arrive. St. Vincent will inbound from their right sideline in the front court, tiptoeing, and Bienvenuti lost it, and that is not the result you want coming out of a timeout on your side.
Yeah, immediately turned it over on the sidelines. So lost it out of her hands, had a little trouble holding onto it, and when it hit the floor, it hit right on the line.
Pakalino lofts a high one for Myers. One dribble terminates. Up top, Pacolino the long jumper off the front of the rim. Cato trying to get to it with one hand falling out of bounds. Saves it to Myers, and then Myers threw it away, looking on the far side across.
Yeah, I don't know actually who she was looking for. Looking for a cross-court pass for somebody who wasn't there. I think she actually expected Cato to be over there, but she had just saved the ball to her going out of bounds.
With 2:40 remaining in this fourth quarter, St. Vincent has just one timeout remaining. Laverne has two to spare. Weems up top, high near the timeline. Defended well by Irwin. Now Osborne comes to meet her. Inside they zip it to a triple-teamed San Martin. Rolls off the front of the rim. St. Vincent the offensive reprieve.
It's actually been a little while since St. Vincent has run its offensive set.
Weems setting it up. The one you want with the ball in her hands. Turning is San Martin, goes to work, kicks it outside. Carroll long two, right through the net. Hannah Carroll with a clutch 2-point jumper as we close in on the 2-minute mark.
Carroll did a great job too. She didn't rush it. She knew there was nobody out there to defend her. She took her time and got it off a good shot.
Myers long jumper, a dead duck dinker off the back of the iron, and Laverne has a 1-point lead at 59-58. Weems back the other way, sends it across to Carroll. Can she do it again? Benvenuti wants the moment, and it's right through, rumbles home. A timely three-pointer for the St. Vincent Bearcats as it's Benvenuti giving her team a 61-59 lead. 94 seconds, Myers with the air ball. She turns around and cannot believe it. What a game this has been. St. Vincent went to overtime with Carthage yesterday. Could we be in store for that kind of result? Laverne trying to bounce back from a 19-point loss against DeSales yesterday, and they are looking to take this one away from St. Vincent. Weems holds patiently into the corner. Benvenuti holds it. Up top, Ellis. They'll swing it around, do the Bearcats. Ellis fakes left, swings it right. Indoors, over to San Martin, gets it! A 4-point lead for St. Vincent at the 104 mark. Laverne must strike quickly, and Julie Shaw wants to discuss before they trudge further.
And two things here, right? Not just that she needs to, has the opportunity to talk to her team, but Myers is really winded. She, first of all, obviously she left that, she airballed that shot from about 17 feet out. Really slow coming down the floor, and then she had to be really active on the defensive end. She was running the baseline, getting out there, making sure that she covered Carroll out on the perimeter when she got the ball out there. So she could really use a chance to sit, and she's getting a long drink right now and trying to get as many deep breaths as possible going into this final minute two.
Well, we've used this metaphor many a time this weekend. Las Vegas, the land of many notorious boxing matches, and in the fourth quarter, we have seen a back-and-forth, blow-by-blow game. St. Vincent leading 56-55 at the 4:50 mark, and then it was Shannon Irwin who came up with a big jumper to take back a 1-point lead for Laverne. Both teams went scoreless for over a minute and a half, and then it was Hannah Carroll who came through with that huge, long 2-point jumper from the baseline. After that, it was Emily Myers who responded to give Laverne the 1-point lead again at 59-58, and then Mara Benvenuti stepped up big from outside with a 3-point shot, a 2-point lead, and it's St. Vincent who has scored on their last two responses, and they look at this 4-point lead as Laverne will have possession.
Big numbers here in the fourth quarter in terms of rebounding. St. Vincent's winning all of these battles. They out-rebounded Laverne 13-5 here in this quarter. Laverne 5 of 16 from the floor in the fourth. St. Vincent 7 of 14.
Irwin on the inbound. Nearly a full shot clock for Laverne to work with, but they need to extinguish it in the form of getting up a good score. Cato into the corner with Irwin. They're looking for Myers down low, but she's currently covered. Now gets her position. Still hasn't received the pass yet. Into the corner. 48 seconds remaining in regulation. St. Vincent by 4 points. Pacolino hanging over to Cato. The runner off the rim. Rebound the Bearcats. San Martin down low, and now Laverne ostensibly must foul.
Great
35
job.
seconds.
Great job by St. Vincent. Myers didn't even touch the ball in that possession once.
He was not in the picture, and now she has to foul. That took Laverne almost an additional 10 seconds after the Bearcats got possession, and very costly. Nobody on Laverne was willing to delegate a foul, and the one who ended up giving it was Emily Myers, who had 4 fouls, on fire in the first half, held to just 4 points in this second half, and she will not be able to contribute any further. She is fouled out of this game.
And you're absolutely right. Unwilling to foul, and she knew she had committed the 5th foul, and she just looked and shrugged. It's like, somebody's got to do it.
They did not stop the clock, and now the shot clock is turned off. And now that is the 5th foul of this quarter against Laverne finally. Well, St. Vincent, they have made the plays down the stretch as they did yesterday against Carthage. Mara Benvenuti hit that big 3 a few possessions back and knocks down the first of 2 free throws here. Just like that, a 5-point lead for St. Vincent. Well, they have put together 2 very resilient performances in back-to-back days. And they're about 20 seconds away from getting away from Las Vegas with an impressive 2-0 showing here. The runner-up, no good. Carroll has her arms on the basketball. She is fouled under the bucket. And St. Vincent is about to pull this one off with 17 and 8/10 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. And Julie Shaw, looking back at what might have been, this thing was neck and neck, anybody's game right down the stretch, and St. Vincent has come up aces most of these shuffles.
And where it turned, really, Justin, you remember the ball over here in the left side corner with about 2 minutes left. Cato saves it from going out of bounds into the hands of Myers, and Myers with a long throw cross-court pass that was to nobody. There was nobody there. Turnover, and they haven't ever quite recovered.
Carroll for some major cushion, and she gets it. It's a 6-point lead for St. Vincent, their largest of this quarter. Here comes Kurahashi, must act quickly, 14 and ticking, down to the right wing. Still no shot up yet. Osborne's going to penetrate for a 2-point shot, draws the foul, and that may have been the best effect, but they're not in the bonus yet.
Yeah, it's only a second team foul in the quarter for St. Vincent.
And Laverne's got to get a shot up. They just spent another 8 seconds off the game clock. It's down to 10 and 2/10 seconds remaining in this game. Laverne down by 6. Kurahashi taking time, threw it into dangerous traffic with 2 bodies, Weems and Carroll, and closing in on there. She sought Cobb. And now 3 players checking in. For St. Vincent in is Ryan, as well as Maria Morgan. Ellis back there as well. They fork it way outside. Osborne still passing up the 3 for a runner instead. Irwin gets the deflection, puts it in for 2, but Laverne is down by 4, and they foul Weems nearly immediately. A couple extra nanoseconds tick off the clock there. That'll work well for St. Vincent. And so St. Vincent, they knock down these free throws, and they will all but close the door on this game and head back east with a whole lot of momentum as they head into a January 2nd matchup with Westminster as they open up that continue that President's Athletic Conference play 1 and 2, and this will surely be a big momentum crafter as they head back east to the great state of Pennsylvania. Weems good on the second. 7-point lead, and that will do it. Well, hold the phone here. The game in hand, the result, but another whistle blown. So we will hum the Jeopardy song a little bit longer here as Julie Shaw calls for time. Maybe some final lessons here as, like St. Vincent, the Verne Leopards getting ready for the start of their play in the SCIAC. And they did not finish the SCIAC last year with a whole lot of momentum, finished the year on a 4-game losing streak, but the SCIAC wide open. There will be certainly some suitors for the crown. Kowloon, a team primed to make some noise. Claremont Mudscripts has given some notable teams some tough battles, almost took care of George Fox. They were amazing the first half, built a 26-point lead against George Fox. Bruins looked dead in the water, and then it was George Fox, the number 3 team in the nation we've seen over the last 2 days, open up the third quarter with a 20-0 run to finish off that comeback and win by a bucket against Claremont Mudscripts. So this is probably figuring to be one of the more competitive SCIAC campaigns we've ever seen between those 9 teams.
And it's an interesting conference because, you know, they're all pulling from the same place. There's a bunch of teams all around the Los Angeles area, and, you know, a lot of competition for the same kids. A lot of the kids know each other.
Kurahashi, as the buzzer sounds, gets up a long 3, and St. Vincent comes back in this fourth quarter, once down 9 early in this second half, end up winning this game by 7. An impressive 16-point turnaround by the St. Vincent Bearcats to take care of Laverne by the final score of 68-61. And it is the St. Vincent Bearcats who are again above the 500 side on their win-loss ledger.
And Gordon Mann is waiting to chat with Jimmy Petruska. His team victorious here once again this afternoon in the last women's game of the D3Hoops.com Classic. So we'll check in with him when the handshakes are done.
St. Vincent with the most dominant quarter of that game, outscoring Laverne 25-13 in the final 10 minutes of gameplay. And they really turned it on down the stretch. Emily Myers, a tremendous first half, a productive third quarter, but she was very much limited. Kind of reminiscent of that game against DeSales where she was saddled with foul trouble all night long. Myers stayed out of foul trouble until the fourth quarter. And when she went out of this game, this is when St. Vincent began accruing momentum, and she fouled out with about in that final minute, but was really limited as St. Vincent or Laverne could not find Emily Myers.
Let's send it over to Gordon Mann.
Thanks a lot, Pat. Coach, we talked about yesterday's victory over Carthage as a springboard game. You needed a little bit of a comeback there, down almost double digits in the fourth quarter, but you got it done. I got to imagine that just makes the momentum all the stronger headed back east.
Absolutely. I thought we played a hard-fought game. We struggled a little bit offensively in the first half, missing a couple easy bunnies, but our team's very charismatic. They're very poised, and I'm starting to see a lot of growth in our team coming here down the middle stretch of our season.
Talk about your point guard, Weems. She had 13 points at the end of the third. She finished with 14, 9 rebounds. She's a really good rebounder for a player her size, and she seemed to have the energy early on in that game.
Jasmine Weems is becoming and emerging as a great leader, and she's doing it not only by example, but also being verbal. And our defense, her communication and the point of our defense is very critical and crucial to how successful we can be defensively. And she's all heart and passion. She's all desire, and I couldn't be more happy of how she played and proud of the entire team for how we played out here in Las Vegas.
Last question for you. Emily Myers had 20 points at the break for Laverne, but she finishes with 24. So she had 4 in the second half. Foul trouble, you guys seem to go at her aggressively. Was there anything you did schematically to neutralize her in the second half?
Yeah, we didn't really talk about her defensively. She was wide open a lot in our zone there, but we told our bigs to come up a little bit more and just contest. But offensively, I didn't think the first half we played how we can play. And we were kind of passive. And don't get me wrong, these tournaments are great, but when you get game after game after game, you get 18, 20 actual minutes to warm up, you can't get really in your routine. It's not an excuse, but it takes a little bit to adjust to that kind of format. And I thought second half we attacked them pretty well in our half-court sets and transition.
Congratulations, Coach. You guys are going to have to write the book on how to win here. If your men win later tonight, you guys are going to be 5-0 at the D3 Hoops Classic this year.
Awesome.
All right, back to Pat and Justin to wrap it up.
Thanks a lot.
Well, based on the pace of productivity and good results here, these two St. Vincent teams may be compelled to never leave the state of Nevada. The final here again, St. Vincent taking care of Laverne 68-61. Justin Sweeney and Pat Coleman with a couple of post-game thoughts and analysis and points of reflection here. Just an incredible fourth quarter for St. Vincent, outscoring Laverne 25-13. Had a good first quarter, led it wire to wire, even though the lead at the end of the first quarter was 15-14 in favor of the St. Vincent Bearcats. Laverne came back in the second quarter, outscoring St. Vincent 16-11 to take that 30-26 halftime lead. At the end of three, it was Laverne with most of the momentum, but St. Vincent coming up with a lot of big plays, and again, they had trouble stopping Emily Myers all night long, but in the fourth quarter, they apparently cracked the code and found a way to neutralize the leading scorer on this Laverne team, Emily Myers. 24 points, but just 4 points in that second half. Still a good game overall. Myers falling 2 rebounds short of a double-double, finishing the night with 24 points, 8 rebounds, along with 2 assists. Our player of the game undoubtedly has to be Jasmine Weems for St. Vincent. Just absolutely apparent all over the court. In 34 minutes of gameplay, she finishes with also 1 rebound short of a double-double, comprising 14 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, along with a steal. St. Vincent, her team, shot 36% for the night, outshooting Laverne from the floor after 40 minutes of gameplay. Laverne mustering together 34.8% shooting from the field. Tough shooting night from the three-point line for Laverne, who went 0 for 7 in the first half, shot much better in the second half, finishing off 3 for 12. They were perfect from the foul line, 12 for 12. St. Vincent got to the foul line with regularity as this game came to a close. They finished shooting 19 for 24 from the charity stripe.
And really just to drill into that fourth quarter, right? St. Vincent, the way this turned, 7 of 14 shooting from the floor in the fourth quarter, 2 for 4 from downtown, 9 of 10 from the line. They out-rebounded Laverne 15-6. And Laverne just struggled. 6 of 20 from the floor, 1 of 2 from downtown. What Gordon mentioned, right? 20 points for Myers at the half, 2 in the third quarter, 2 in the fourth quarter, and that was evident in the way the game turned.
Just some huge plays down the stretch. Jasmine Weems was impressive all night long for St. Vincent, but how about that big 3-point shot by by Mara Benvenuti? That was a big shot. Hannah Carroll made some big jumpers down the stretch as well. Benvenuti tied Jasmine Weems for the game high in scoring with 14 points. Hannah Carroll also tallied 12 points and some nice performances off the bench, mainly by Maria Morgan, who took care of the basketball, helped the offense forge right along. Lucy Bujos was also pretty big down low in the second half and was one of the key post players who gave Emily Myers a lot of trouble in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, so St. Vincent comes out of here with a 2-0 record. Laverne hard fought here in this second game, but they go home 0-2, and I know we've got to clear the decks and get ready for Mary Hardin Baylor versus Whitworth here.
This is going to be a great one, and it will be Gordon Mann and Dave McHugh for Pat Coleman. What a trip it has been. Thanks so much to all our viewers at home, allowing us to spend some time with you over these 4 days. We'd like to wish you a happy set of continuing holidays, and most importantly, a happy new year. 2 games in the books. The women's action all wrapped up from Las Vegas after 4 days, but still plenty more men's action to come, and it will be a good one coming up next as University of Mary Hardin Baylor out of the ASC takes on the Whitworth University Pirates out of the Northwest Conference. It is all on the way in about 13 minutes from now. The D3Hoops.com Classic from South Point Resort Arena continues next on D3Hoops.com.